All right, hello. So in this video, I just want to talk about mental health and type 1 diabetes. So as I mentioned before, my 10-year-old son was recently diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and he really hit a low mark, right? So we have to recognize as parents that we have to give him his room to kind of navigate through all of this and to be honest with his feelings. So when we first came home in the hospital, he was at a really low point. I think just all the information that was coming at him, and of course, you don't really sleep in the hospital, and that was just a whole nother story with people pricking him. You're having to get used to before every meal you're getting insulin and needles coming at you left and right. So that was hard. And even when we came home, it took him a couple of days to really just kind of wrap his mind around all that was going on. And we realized that as parents, we had to make room for that and not just be like, boy, suck it up, you'll be all right, we believe in Jesus. And we couldn't come at him with that approach. We expressed to him that, hey, you know what, Jesus is our rock, and we're going to trust him even in this process. But we also gave him the space to be honest with his feelings. We gave him the space to vent his frustration. We gave him the space to cry when he needed to. And with all that said, we realize though that while we give you your space to share how you're really feeling and not to stuff it, and even encourage him to go and pray to God and express all that he's feelings, and even perhaps all he's feeling and even the questions that he may have, but on the other end, we also wanted him to understand that he couldn't just stay, that he had a choice. Really, sometimes I think with our feelings, we think we have no choice, and we're just like, oh my goodness, I just have to be in a place of despair all the time. So absolutely connect with what you're feeling, but we wanted him to understand that he also had a choice to not remain in that place of just feeling frustrated and angry and just disappointed with the recent diagnosis. And we kind of had to help him. It's a very gentle balance, right? Of here, acknowledge your feelings, but as your parent, I'm not gonna let you sit in these feelings and just, sink lower and lower. I want you to really see, even though that this is horrible and this is not ideal, that there are many things that you have to be thankful for. So yes, you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, but you know what? Thank God you are alive. Thank God they caught it. Thank God they were able to give a diagnosis and we knew what was going on. Thank God that we're able to prepare yummy meals for you that you enjoy and you don't feel like you're just sitting eating cardboard all day. Thank God that we're seeing a progression in the right direction. So it's not being dismissive of his feelings, but also encouraging him to see that in spite of all that's going on, there's still so many things to be thankful for. And helping him not to just magnify the negative thing and this big glaring disease, but again, to see some of the positives that are currently going on in his life. And like I said, it's a very delicate balance, and it's something that I have to remain prayerful about in terms of how to approach it. And my husband and myself, we've talked to him together, we've spoke to him individually, and again, I don't know that we've mastered it, but we are seeing just a turnaround in just his emotional health, and him even again making the choice not to just sit and sulk. And we're seeing joy being restored to him, and not a superficial joy like he's there, he's going in life. And yes, there's moments where it hits him. Before I can pick up something and eat it, I have to stop, look at my blood sugar, and check my blood sugar and figure out how much insulin I may need to cover this thing. So we still have those moments, but I can say that he's not at that low place that he was when he first came home. And I think that it took some intentionality on our part as parents to really, again, encourage him to share his feelings, but to not sit in a place of despair. And I have to say this again, because I don't want to make it sound like we're just masters at it. It's still a process, and I'm sure we have a road ahead of us, and I'm sure he's probably gonna have his moments. You know what? As a matter of fact, I was going strong. I was feeling good. And the other night, after like a long day, I remember just feeling so overwhelmed by just our new normal. And I just came upstairs in the bedroom, and my husband was laying there, and he was so gracious. He just allowed me to cry, and he prayed for me. He allowed me to cry, but it wasn't like, okay, let's just sit here and just all be sad. It was, he allowed me to cry, allowed me to vent my feelings, and then he prayed for me and just kind of helped me to get out of the place that I was in. So I don't want to present this like, yes, I'm just super mom and my husband is super dad and we're super parents and we have it all mastered. It's a process, but just wanted to share these tips with you. And yeah, that is it. All right, you be blessed.